Hi everyone, Inat Kessler here with a new video tutorial, and today I'm going to show you simple mixed media techniques. So we're going to start with priming. Priming your page, your art journal page or your canvas is really important. So all the materials that you're going to add are going to really hold on to the surface that you're working on, and you won't get any bleeds or any smears or the 3D elements that you're adding will stay on, and so on. So you need to use gesso to prime your surface. Next, we are going to add some background, and this is the base layer. So the base layer is basically the first layer that you add to your mixed media project. It can be an art journal page or a canvas or any other project that you're making, and it can be from any material. I am using old book papers and I'm attaching them to my canvas with gel medium. You can also use Mod Podge. These are glues that are also sealing the top layer of the paper. So you need to put one layer to attach them to the surface and then another layer on top of them to seal it. These are really gluey and liquid materials that you can apply with a brush. So the base layer can be paint, sprays, papers, fabric, any type of first base that you want to build your creation on. So I'm covering all the sides of my canvas with the old book pages, and make sure that it is completely dry before you continue. Our next technique is adding texture. One of the most common and required, let's say, elements of mixed media projects is texture. And you can add texture in a lot of ways. I'm going to show you two ways. So I'm using a bandage. This is like an old bandage. You can use cheesecloth. I'm getting this from my local pharmacy. And then I'm just fraying it a little bit with my fingers and attaching it to the canvas, again with gel medium. Gel medium or Mod Podge is a really strong glue, and it goes to all the nooks and crannies that you need, especially if you're not working with a flat surface like now. So I'm cutting pieces of my bandage or my cheesecloth or any other fabric, by the way, that you want. And then I'm fraying it with my fingers and attaching it to the canvas. And you see it is completely jumbled up and creating layers with it. And the texture will look really pretty and interesting. So you just keep on adding that layer until you're happy. Next, I'm going to use some modeling paste. Modeling paste is a thick paste that you can add, and it stays on the surface. It does not flatten. So you can use it with stencils, or you can use it with a palette knife like I'm doing here, just to add texture, ridges and high areas that are higher than the surface. And then of course make sure that it is completely dry before you continue with your next technique, and that is adding color. Adding color can be done in millions and millions of ways. First of all, you can use any type of color that you want. That means you can use watercolor, acrylic paints, oil paints, crayons, markers, colored pencils, etc. And of course, you can choose whatever color combination that you want. I'm using distress stains here. Distress stains are transparent inks, and they're very liquid. They come in a bottle with a sponge, and I'm using a brush to spread them around. And then I'm also going to add some sprays. I really like using sprays. They go into all the nooks and crannies and create a really beautiful color effect when you add them. So you see now, when I add color, when I add the stains onto the texture, it really makes the texture pop out, because some areas are higher than the others, and the paint goes inside the little nooks and crannies and makes it look really pretty. So I also sprayed the canvas and then made sure everything is completely dry. And now I can go ahead and continue with adding my text and my focal point. Usually at this point you add your focal point before you add all the other details and text, but I just wanted to do that first to make sure that so that I have my letters in the right place. And what I'm doing is I'm using chipboard letters, and I'm just adding some distress stains to color them, and also I'm coloring them with Posca pens, which are really great to use almost on any surface. These are type of acrylic paint markers that I really like using. So I'm just going to color all my letters. I'm going to spell the word fill because my focal point is going to be connected to that word. So next I'm just going to add my text to the canvas, and when you make a mixed media project you don't necessarily have to add text. I like to add words to my projects, but that is a personal choice that you don't have to make. So once I have all my letters, I can go ahead and add my focal point. So my focal point is a bunch of old little bottles and vials that I am going to add little words on them, and like joy and love and things like that, and words like that. So basically I'm going to fill my life with, in the bottles, with all the words that are going to be on the bottles. So I'm just using the same old book paper to spell the words and attach them to the bottles. I even have a small perfume bottle here, an empty one. You can get those in all the little bottles, and glass bottles and vials can be found in craft stores. You can actually use plastic ones as well. Doesn't matter as long as they're transparent, and then you can add, you can also fill them with little beads, different colors. I didn't do that, but you can do that as well. That will add extra interest and texture to your piece. So I'm using a really strong glue. E6000 is an industrial strength glue. Because the bottles are made of glass, they're kind of heavy, and when I hang this on my wall I want to make sure that they don't fall, so I have to use a really strong glue. Don't use just hot glue or any other type of glue. It needs to be really a strong glue. So this is how my final piece looks. I really hope you liked it and that you'll give all those mixed media techniques a try. Thank you very much for joining me. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video so you won't miss anything, and you'll be able to follow all the tutorials and make all the projects. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next time.